Hopefully that got you all woken up today, loosened up some of your muscles, hopefully got you to dance. I see in the chat that some folks are like waking up at 7 a.m. like, yes, it's 7 a.m. where I'm at. Let's wake it up. Uh, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting day 2 of Justice Now 2020. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for joining us. Day 1 was amazing. Day 2 is going to be equally as amazing. So welcome back. I'm Dr. Crystal Redmond. I'm the Executive Director with Spark Reproductive Justice Now. So welcome into this space. Today is just going to be so magical. As I said yesterday, I think it's so important to know who is actually holding this space for you, who has helped to cultivate and create this space that we're in, this magical, this intimate, this intentional space. So Spark Reproductive Justice Now, or as you will hear us say, Spark, is a reproductive justice organization, grassroots reproductive justice organization in Atlanta, Georgia. We've been around since 2007. We center our work in Black and queer liberation and trans liberation. This is the work that we do, right? We organize, we build up leadership, we work together to mobilize and truly just build collective community power. We envision a world where we have all the things we need to live liberatory lives and make liberatory decisions about ourselves. So we have worked tirelessly for about 4 years to create this space. I remember in 2016 as the federal administration was shifting, and to be clear, this is not the first time we've ever had an administration that was like racist, transphobic, homophobic, like all these things, right? And such. This was just a wave where we saw a new transition of folks that were ready and activated, folks that didn't look like us, right? We had other allies and folks that were willing to join this fight. And also, to be clear, we've had Black organizers, Black, Indigenous, Brown organizers that have historically done this work on the ground to continue to build and shift power for us, right? So Spark is just holding space to honor that, as well as to convene us so we can figure out what we're doing together collectively, what can we achieve collectively together as we move forward to this new administration. But 4 years ago, when this administration was shifting, I remember us sitting around and just thinking, wow, we want to hold a collective space where young folks, queer folks, trans folks, grassroots folks, right? Grassroots leaders, et cetera, can come together and truly build collective community power, bringing together cross movements, right? So at that point, we set forward, and honestly, to center our core base, right? To center queer folks, to center Black, Indigenous folks, to center young folks in this, right? So we set forward in building Justice Now 2020, and it's so amazing. So thank you so much for attending and being with us through this new path. This is our first ever national conference, right? So we're so excited for this, and we're happy with all the magic that this space will entail and hold. So with that, I recall us thinking, who will help us to hold this space and kind of move us from panel to panel as an MC. And there was only one name we thought of, right? So that was Monica Simpson. And so happy Monica Simpson is a movement leader, an artivist, I think I was there, artivist, and just such a beautiful soul in the reproductive justice movement. Also a doula, does birth justice work, and is just an amazing person. So Monica Simpson is the executive director of Sister Song, which is also located in Atlanta, Georgia, but is a national reproductive justice organization. So thank you so much for joining us. So without further ado, welcome Monica Simpson.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Good morning, good people. Good morning, good morning, good morning from all over the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast, from the North to the South, all up in the middle. Good morning, good people. It is so exciting to be back with you. Yesterday, we went in, we had a good time. We grounded ourselves. We had an amazing first keynote speaker with Deshaun. Y'all, I mean, just gems falling all out of people's mouths yesterday. Our first panel on the intersections of our work. Again, more just juicy nuggets falling out of people's mouths. And we're just going to keep building on that. I saw your selfies. I saw your tweets. We're going to keep all of that going today for Spark Reproductive Justice Now's first national conference. Justice Now 2020. If you in your house, if you getting your tea, if you sitting with your kids, if you chilling with your friends, just say it with us. Justice Now 2020. We are here Saturday morning, day 2. So I wanted to also just give mad love and appreciation to the entire team. I don't think y'all know what it takes to put on a national conference and to do one virtually, right? We want to give mad love to Spark Reproductive Justice Now. Make sure you tweet them up. Make sure you give them mad love. Make sure you just send them all of the virtual love that we can for holding this down, because they are doing this at the right time for us. All for us. So again, we love you, Crystal. We love your team. Y'all just continue to rock it out. We're going to go ahead and get started this morning, good folks. All right. We're going to start though, just like we did yesterday, just like we do in all the spaces in the reproductive justice movement, by grounding ourselves, by bringing ourselves into our center and setting our intentions for the day, so that as we walk into our workshop sessions, as we walk into the keynotes, as we walk into the panels, as we walk throughout this day, that we are all connected to each other. So right now, we're going to turn our attention over to a pre-recorded session from the amazing Bronte Velez, who is going to give us that grounding, and I'll be right back to tell you about the rest of the day.
Welcome. Greetings to you, greetings to all of our relations. My name is Bronte Velez. I go by they, them pronouns, and I'm recording this from unceded Kashaya Pomo territory in so-called Annapolis, California. Today I have the privilege of offering a Land and Black Life acknowledgement and grounding practice to open the conference. I am wearing a dark blue shirt and a cream beanie and light green reading glasses. I was born and raised in Decatur, Georgia, Zone 6, Cherokee Muskogee Territory. I'm the descendant of kidnapped and enslaved Black people brought to Turtle Island, Black Muskogee people, and the descendant of mestizo ancestors from the island of Boriquen, what settlers call Puerto Rico. I come from a lineage of ministers, poets, healers, farmers, cooks, and sanctuary makers that have guided me here. I name my relations as a way to acknowledge the many rivers that carry me here and to build trust in humbly opening this space. And I invite you to take a moment to trace the rivers that arrive you here. And perhaps from wherever you are, you find yourself presencing and acknowledging your lineage, the land you're on, in, and the work, the dreams, the people, the signs that have guided you here, perhaps aloud or in silent contemplation to yourself for a moment. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds. Thank you to the many rivers that have carried us here. I'm humbled to open this conference with you all through the wisdom of interrupting the attention economy, through acknowledgement and ritual, the way that prayerful and ceremonial pace and accountability to the lineages that have supported us to arrive here allow miracles to take place. So may miracles take place during our time gathered here together. While I offer the Land and Black Life acknowledgement, I encourage you to invite a posture or feeling that invokes reverence for you. Perhaps that's bowing your head and closing your eyes or keeping them open with a soft gaze. Perhaps you find your palms moving upward and outward, or your hands come to your chest or to the posture of prayer or thanks, whatever feels good and comfortable for you as a way to be in the practice of gratitude and acknowledgement. I also invite you to drink water during this time, which I'm about to have with my Nat Ministry logo on it. Shout out to the Nat Ministry. All right. So I'm going to invite us to just inhale and exhale 3 times and just find that posture that feels good for you. And then I'm going to offer the land and Black life acknowledgement. Maybe an audible sigh there at the end. Thank you, Creator, for the miracle of life and of this moment. Thank you for those gathered here today. We welcome the miracle of their arrival and their yes. Thank you for their yearning for liberation. Thank you for bringing together hearts that seek justice. And thank you to the organizers of this space for hearing to and answering the call to gather us. And thank you for those who are not virtually with us, but among us. May those among us who have passed on, those still seeking justice from across realms, those benevolently bearing witness on the other side, may they also find rest through our gathering here today and onward. We gather here first in gratitude for this planet, for the water, the earth, the fire, the mountains, the air. May we be in right relationship to these gifts. May we never take them for granted, and may we give our presence and attention here up and outward as an offering. We offer our gratitude for the many rivers of wisdom that have carried us here, the lineages of ceremonialists, reproductive justice organizers, abolitionists, transcestors, earth defenders, ministers, activists that have protected these rituals and passed them down to us, that remind us to accompany our action with prayer and meditation, the wisdom to give thanks, to remember, to acknowledge. We thank you for entrusting us with these practices. We will honor them with grace and intention today. Thank you, Creator, for bringing me to this space to humbly give this offering. May our time together serve the highest good. I ask for permission to carry our prayer forward in a good way while on the land of the Kashaya Pomo peoples, where I currently offer this prayer. I give thanks for the original territory of the Muskogee and Cherokee people in Atlanta. I acknowledge the harm of colonialism, mass genocide, and displacement of indigenous peoples in Turtle Island. I pray that our work here during this conference invokes healing and liberation backwards and forwards through time, that it accounts for and acknowledges the reproductive injustices of indigenous peoples, and that it serves the truth that land back, that reparations, that indigenous land sovereignty inherently serves reproductive justice. I ask that our prayers and acknowledgments be heard with strong intention and care for the ancestors and living peoples of the collective lands we gather in. I give thanks for the ability to gather across space and time through our technology. I give thanks for that miracle while also holding and giving account and grief for the labor, violence, and harm that our technology requires. I give thanks for the stars, mountains, steel, glass, silica sand, iron ore, gold, bauxite, coltan, copper, tungsten, and many other minerals who steward this ability to connect. I give thanks for the many lands these materials were mined from and hold the often unjust impact that extraction and labor require. May our time gathered here today serve right relationship with the source of our technology. May we be in right relationship with this gift. And Creator, we invoke Mark Anthony Johnson's prayer that, quote, Black wellness is the antithesis to state violence, unquote. We know that Black wellness also means ecological wellness, indigenous wellness, queer wellness, Crip wellness, that Black wellness means reproductive justice. I honor and acknowledge the kidnapped Black folks and ancestors enslaved in Georgia who were forced to work the lands that call us together. I acknowledge the de-indigenization of Black people through the project of slavery and seek to repair that memory through this acknowledgement of Black life. I pray that our work here during this conference invokes healing and liberation backwards and forwards through time for the descendants of those ancestors. I honor the wake of enslavement that Black folks are in Turtle Island and globally in the diaspora. I honor our differences and our intimacy. I honor the contributions, labor, scholarship, activism, and love that Black life, Black femmes, Black queer folks, and Black trans women and folks have contributed to reproductive justice. I acknowledge the reproductive injustice inherent to enslavement and racial terror in the land. We invoke the call that reparations and land sovereignty for Black people inherently serves reproductive justice. I pray that our work here serves the call towards Black and Indigenous solidarity and co-liberation. May it be so. I'm going to bring us all into an opening grounding meditation. I will first offer a libation to open this space. And I acknowledge that libations are typically performed by elders and initiates. I acknowledge that I'm a youth kinfolk that has been given a blessing by my elders to hold ceremonial space, and that I've asked for permission to offer this libation. Libations are a ritual offering of water or alcohol to acknowledge those who have come before us and to give our gratitude and acknowledgement forward and backward through time. Libations make room for our lineages to rest so that our work in the present moment can flow through that acknowledgement. Creator in my relations, I humbly seek to acknowledge the lineage of Black femme and transcestors who prophesied and doulaed reproductive justice into being. I offer libation and gratitude for those ancestors, libations for the Black folks we lost this year, libations for those we have lost to COVID, libations for our incarcerated relatives, libations for our Indigenous relatives, libations for the water of the earth. And so I invite you all to meditate on who dreamed you here. Who do you give thanks for? And either at this moment, I invite you to offer water out, or at some point throughout the day or conference, perhaps you might offer water or alcohol out and name your specific lineage that dreamed you into this moment and into this work as a way to give thanks. Thank you. I'm offering our libation to what looks like a small bay tree, a small bay laurel. Now, I would love to invite us into our breath and our chanting so that we can collectivize our voices and intentions here during the conference. So I'm going to invite you into a restful position, something that feels comfortable for you. Maybe you find, again, yourself closing your eyes, or perhaps your eyes find a soft gaze. And you're just noticing your breath for a moment. It's a lot to bring up those who have passed on, and this is a very hard time to not be able to gather in person. So just to acknowledge our breath in this work and still being gathered in distance. And so once you find that you're a little more arrived, I'm going to invite you to chant and incorporate with me. Incorporate as in to bring into our bodies Sparks mantra. Our bodies, our communities, our futures. And I'm going to add on justice now, since this is what we're gathered around. Our bodies, our communities, our futures, justice now. Our bodies, our communities, our futures, justice now. So I'm going to invite you to first slowly chant that but then you'll find yourself getting faster and faster, more illegible, fugitive, inaudible, more of a whisper, closer to yourself as you allow that mantra to enchant you. And just notice what it feels like to allow our life force and our lungs to bring breath and embodiment to that intention together. Our bodies, our communities, our futures, justice now. 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 Thank you. And finally, I'm going to invite you all to respond to this prompt through the form of a small prophecy or a spell or a prayer. It can be as brief as a sentence. The prompt is, if reproductive justice is now, what does that now feel like? And the invitation is to write it as if it is, in the present sense. Reproductive justice now feels like. And I invite you to share this small prophecy back to others, or to hold it throughout the conference, to place it onto your altar or some place of significance where you are, or if you can, to offer it to the land where you are. Thank you all so much for allowing me to hold this space. I pray that the work that happens here be protected, that the visions here be made manifest, that all of your relationships stay healthy, that this network becomes more fortified, that each of you receive deep rest, imagination, and inspiration from gathering together. I'll close by dedicating the merits of our opening. I received this practice from Mia Cota Taylor from Fierce Allies. This is to send the blessing of our time outward. I'll first say the dedication and then repeat it, where you can then repeat it with me if you feel called. The dedication is, may any positivity generated be given away to all of life for the sake of freedom. And I'll repeat that, and you can say it after me. May any positivity generated be given away to all of life for the sake of freedom. Blessings, lots of love to you all. Enjoy the conference.
Oh, that felt amazing. I know you all are feeling it. I know I'm feeling it. Bronte Velez, good people, please follow their work and continue to lift up all that was just given to us in that beautiful ritual and grounding to set us forth on this day. Welcome. If you didn't feel welcome before, if you didn't feel ready before, this is Justice Now 2020, good people. So I see a lot of folks talking about, what reproductive justice now in present tense means to them. Continue to bring that forward, share that with each other, use your chat, use all the different ways that we can connect with each other, chat boards on that WOVA app over there. Make sure you're all up in there, sharing with each other, connecting with each other, and bringing that forward. I'm seeing homies over here all up, coming through the chat this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning from all over the country. Again, my name is Monica Ray Simpson, and I'm excited to be your moderator and to be able to hold this brilliant, beautiful space that Spark Reproductive Justice Now has curated for us at this very present time, in this very moment. So just to give you all some housekeeping to get you settled and to get you ready to go about your day, we have to make sure that you all remember those liberation boxes. Everyone has their liberation box. It was sent to you by the amazing team at Spark. They have such cool things in there. Most importantly, they got a gift card in there. So that gift card, please use that because lunch is on us. we get to have it together, and we want you to be able to have that lunch for our keynote speaker that will be coming up this afternoon. So please make sure you dig into that box, get that gift card, use that gift card, and also use all the things that are connected to that beautiful liberation box. Breakout sessions are about to start. We have 12 amazing sessions with 5 different tracks. Our tracks are advocacy and policy, art, culture, and organizing, reproductive health, equity, and public policy, reproductive justice and intersectionality, and research. So you get to dig in on all of those different tracks and make sure that you find the workshops that are just going to give you all that good stuff, because there's a lot of good stuff to choose from, y'all. Each of our workshop sessions and virtual offerings include feedback forms for you all to evaluate your experiences. We want to ensure that you're creating a space that's reflective, that we're creating a space that's reflective of the needs of the community. So please take a few minutes and fill that out. Let me tell y'all, I know how this goes. We all done been to conferences. We all done been to the different meetings and things. And we get to the end, we chilling with our homies, and then we forget to do the forms. Let's not forget to do that. It's right here for us, y'all. And it really does help Spark make every experience, everything that they create, even more better. Don't you want to help Spark? I know you want to help Spark. So make sure that you fill those evaluation forms out and get those in. Again, I see you all are like already putting your stuff into the chat. Make sure you put all of your great feelings, experiences, questions, pictures, all the beautiful things over on the social media world. We are using our IG and Twitter are at Spark RJ Now. At Spark RJ Now. Make sure you add them and make sure you include them. And we are using the hashtag this weekend, hashtag Justice Now. That now is all caps too, honey. 2020. And make sure that you do that, because I truly believe that we can make Justice Now 2020 trend. And the only way that we do that is by you all feeding that hashtag and making sure the rest of the world knows what's going down and what Spark Reproductive Justice Now is creating. So use that hashtag Justice Now 2020. So also, again, to enhance your experience, use all your features, use all the tools that you have at your disposal. Use your chat rooms, use all the things, I'm not even that great of a technology person, and this is pretty easy for me. So if it's easy for me, I hope it's easy for you. Make sure you're using all of the experiences, all the things to make your experience better. We also have the Black Sanctuary, that space. And did y'all get in on that last night? I mean, all of the beautiful pre-recorded sessions that give you all the beautiful, like, respite moments that you need, just kind of giving you that fuel. It is Spark's Black autonomous space. So Black folks, get in on this sanctuary space. It's created for you. So please get in on it, go in and enjoy it, and make sure that you make it a part of your experience this weekend as well, okay? I don't know about y'all. I hope you got it in with the party last night, because folks was getting it in remembrance of the Trans Day of Remembrance party. There were cooking lessons last night. I mean, yoga, nighttime activities on, I was gonna say on fleek, but I think that would probably also age me a little bit. But you know, it's okay. It's all right. I was excited that we started with Missy Elliott because I knew all the words to the song. Very exciting. But anyway, y'all, make sure you get in on all the experiences, all right? So we can continue to have a brilliant, beautiful time with each other. Before we head out, again, want to remind you all, we do have our keynote speaker coming on today. It is the beautiful, amazing, brilliant Raquel Willis. If you have not heard Raquel Willis, if you have not been in her beauty and in her presence, in her brilliance, you are in for a treat. So make sure that you come back today at 12:30 after your sessions to be a part of that lunch keynote, and you can use your gift cards to be a part of that conversation. So before we do that, Erin is going to be mad love to Erin from Spark Reproductive Justice Now. Just give all the props in the chat for this amazing team member who is holding down all things logistics for us. We're going to send us into a beautiful video here for a second. And then we'll come back and make sure that we close you out, right? But take a moment and check this out, y'all.
Liberation means that I live a fully autonomous life of abundance that is sustained by myself and my community.
Liberation is the ability to feel and be truly free, to wake up every day and us just to do whatever it is that truly brings us happiness.
Liberation just looks like safety, it looks like happiness, it feels warm, free from fear. That's what liberation looks like to me.
Liberation looks like having access to all basic necessities, housing, that's education, that is employment, that is gender affirming care.
No one should have to fear whether or not they'll have their basic needs met or even their desires met.
Liberation looks like resources, folks having access to the things they need to thrive and not only survive.
It's being able to leave my house without fear of hurt, harm, violence, or danger. It's the dismantling and abolishing of all systems of oppression, white supremacy, and any form of anti-Black racism for me.
Liberation to me means being able to live a life where all of the people that I know are able to be themselves and express who they are to the fullest extent.
Liberation is freedom. It's radical rest, leisure, and love. Liberation is joy. Liberation looks like a dance, it sounds like a sweet, sweet song, and it tastes like justice. We are liberation.
We are liberation. Yes. If you didn't know, now you know, y'all. This is Justice Now 2020. We're going to let you get started into and move into your breakout sessions. Again, reminder, our keynote session starts at 12:30 with Raquel Willis. Please make sure you make your way back for that with your lunch, because I'm going to be eating on mine too after we, do little introductions. So I'm excited to see you all back at 12:30. Enjoy your sessions, enjoy each other, and welcome again to Justice Now 2020, day 2, good folks. Let's get it.